guys, it's Samir. Welcome back to my channel. It's been a while, but this is gonna be like my first story time. And I never wanted to talk about this because I didn't want to tell nobody that I was working at McDonald's. But I have my notebook so I can tell you guys what happened, because this happened like a couple months ago. But so I'm working at another job now. I've been working at this job for 4 months. So before I had this job, like 4 months ago, I was working there, and I didn't spend that much time there. I didn't even spend like 5 months. I did like 4 months and a half there. I just couldn't do it. I didn't like that place. It just wasn't for me. It just wasn't for me. I'm sorry. Like, if you work at McDonald's, I'm not trying to say nothing, or like, I'm not trying to come off as rude or anything, but it just wasn't for me. Like, I'm sure, like, the one that I was working at just wasn't for me, because I know like some people that like, yeah, like that work at McDonald's, and they're like, yeah, it's great and stuff. But I don't even know if I want to say the name. I think I'm gonna have to bleep it out every time I say it. So it was towards the end of senior year, of course, and it was prom season, and I knew my parents. They would have paid for it. They would have paid for everything if I had asked them to, but I just didn't want them to. I didn't want them to pay everything like by themselves, because I would feel bad. So I got up off my ass and went to go get a job. Where I live, the McDonald's is like 5 minutes away. So I was like, this is great. I live right here. The job's right there. Easy. So I do the job application just like that. I get it, right? I'm like, okay, this shit's gonna be cake, I don't want to be back there in the kitchen, but they had me back there in the kitchen. One of the managers, we need a name for one of the managers. Damn, it's starting to get dark. Should I change the camera over here? Should I change it over here? So yeah, I'm gonna change it. We're gonna name him Swiss, like Swiss cheese. There you go. So Swiss was hiring me. The hiring process was great and stuff. He was like, okay, you're in and stuff. And I was like, great. So then, obviously, all jobs have to go to an orientation. So I had to go to an orientation, and I had to look, presentable at the orientation. And at this time, I had like ginger braids. I'm sure you guys have seen that video. Those are the kind of braids that did I? No, I think I had black braids. Just regular black box braids. And he was like, nah. And it was weird to me, he had a little black accent, of course. And he was like, yeah, don't be walking up in there looking like a hoochie. No, he literally said, don't be walking up in there dressing like a hoochie. I was like, what? Dressing like a hoochie? Like, I know how to dress professionally, damn. And he was like, yeah, I love your nails, but they gotta go. But at this time, I didn't really want to, but I just needed a job. So it was like, fine. Like, literally, I did the application, like, let's say I did the application on a Monday, right? I got the text that I got in Wednesday, and then they told me to come in Thursday for the thing. And it was like, okay, I did the interview. Like, it was just a quick hiring process. Like, if you want a job, I'm pretty sure McDonald's hard. That place will hire you quickly. But I'm just gonna say it right now. Oh, and I forgot to disclaimer, there's gonna be like some uncomfortable not uncomfortable. Yeah, there's gonna be some uncomfortable situations. And before you say, why didn't you tell on them? Why didn't you this? Why didn't you that? Guys, don't ask me why I didn't do it. This was the one by my house, so obviously I used to go there. And one time before I went there was this really cute guy, right? This cute guy in the drive-thru. I was like, oh my gosh. And I'm not comfortable with like guys, I'm just gonna lay it right here. Like, I'm not comfortable with guys, especially if I like you. It's weird. Well, not like you, but like if I find you attractive, I'm uncomfortable, So I was like, damn, I don't want to work there because he's gonna be there and he looked good. And this was before the mask. So I was like, oh my gosh, he looks good and stuff. So anyways, first day rolls around. Everything's going great. They're doing the orientation and crap and all that. It was in. But the guys there were kind of creepy. They were. And it wasn't, yeah, they were just kind of creepy. Point blank period. Point blank period. So remember the cute guy that I saw? We need a name for him too. Butterfly. Okay. Butterfly. Like, the first day I was working, I didn't see Butterfly. I was like, okay, great, you know, good. And the second day I was working, I was like, I didn't see Butterfly. I was like, okay, great, this is good. Third day I was working, I saw Butterfly. Oh my gosh. Oh my freaking gosh. So I saw Butterfly. So, and when I saw him, I was like, ooh, I was shaking in my boots, quivering. So I saw him, I was like, oh my gosh, what I do. And literally, like, guys are weird. It was like my third day out here, and nigga talking about like, he would walk by me and whisper shit in my ear. Like, not, it was not right. It was not right whatsoever. It was not right. What he would like whisper stuff like, stuff like that. And I just wasn't here for it. I wasn't here for it. And and then at first I was like, I didn't know what to do. So when I went on break, I texted my friend. I was like, hey, what do I do this? And my friend's, you know, he's a city girl. Okay, he's a city girl. You know who you are. He was like, oh my gosh, go to the break room and do this with him. I was like, what? No. Ooh, why should I even say this? So I was like, oh hell no, I'm not. I don't get down like that. That's weird. So at the end of the night, I was like, okay. And like, keep in mind, I've done so much growth during this quarantine and stuff like that. If someone did something like that to me now, it would just be off rips no. It would just off rips no. But back then it was like different, you know? Like, I didn't know the difference between creepy and flirty. I don't know. It just all fell. Well, I did kind of know the difference. Well, either way, I ran away from them both. Like, creepy and violating versus sexual harassment. That's not it. That's like, you need to know the difference when you're working in the workforce, okay? You need to know the difference. Youngins, know this, okay? Someone comes at you like that, tell somebody. Don't be like me. Tell somebody. So that same night, you know, the same night I went on Snapchat, right? No. That same night I went home and I talked about him because I was like, oh my gosh, he's so cute, he's so cute. The next day I was talking about him I was telling him about my third day experience because my friend, he also needed a job. So, and then I was like, it's a quick job thing, you know, we all needed the money for prom. So I told him, hey, get at this job if you want to and stuff. It's easy. I got in, it's cake. That was before they started dogging me out when they found out that I was over 18, by the way. As soon as you turn 18, they turn you into a slave. So, what was that? So I was talking to my friend's little sister about, you know, him and stuff. And she was like, wait, Butterfly? That's his name? And I was like, yeah, why? And he was like, and then she pulled out her phone and then she showed me Butterfly on some other girl's story. The girl that I used to be friends with, acquaintances, I'd say, also knew Butterfly. I was like, wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. And the thing is that, like, this isn't the first time that, like, me and Butterfly, after he did that, oh, and like at the end of the night, I was like, okay, that's weird, you know, because why would he whisper that stuff in my ear, but he wouldn't say it to my face? So at the end of the night, I was leaving ass about everyone because, you know, that's the right thing to do. So I came up to him, I said, oh, did you say something? Like, did you say something earlier to me? And I was expecting him to say something. Because if you would, because why can you say, you know, when you're passing by like a freaking fly in my ear, but you can't say it to my face? That's not right. So, and he said, oh, I said bye. I said no before that. And he was like, oh no, I didn't say anything. I was like, are you sure? And he was like, yeah. And he was looking at me. And I was like, dude, now is your, like, back then I was thinking, oh my gosh, now's your chance, sweetie. No. And I just walked away. I was like, wow, okay. Such a fucking pussy. Because this happened, like, so I did not like my experience there whatsoever. So I try to block it out of my memory any way possible. So let's talk about, I'll get into the managers a little bit later, but I'm going to talk about the you know, the basic crew, the crew. Okay, there was like this creepy crew trainer. I'm sorry. Well, there was this. Yeah, let's talk about him. Let's talk about him. We can name him. Let's name him Degree. Degree. So Degree is like a crew trainer, right? And he's obviously older. He's obviously older. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to acknowledge this again. I'm gonna have to put this in the front. When you work there, well, the one that I worked at is a franchise, not part of like it's a franchise, not like a part of corporate. So I don't know if they did this at the corporate ones either, but if you were a minor, you wore a red hat, and if you weren't a minor, you wore a gray hat. So when I got hired, I had already turned 18. But because like my birthday was so close to when I did the application, they thought I was a minor, so they gave me a red hat. So I was running around with a red hat, getting minor privileges when I wasn't a minor, and that's perfectly fine. Cause if I didn't have that red hat, let me tell you, they would have dogged me out sooner, and I would have left. Yeah. So obviously he seen me with my red hat, and obviously he didn't know my age, but it's just the fact that I had the little hat. Okay, I had the hat. Minor, you have gray. You're older, like back away. And he wasn't like just 19. I'm pretty sure like he was like 20 or something. So Degree was a weirdo. I'm not gonna cap. Degree was a weirdo. He was bitter, always salty, always fucking salty, bitter as hell. And so like one time, and he was and he'd always be ready to rant about something, and Degree was disrespectful as hell. You know, when you first new to like an environment, so you're just trying to chill, you know, you're not trying to come off all, you know, hardcore. So I was laid back, I was vibing, I was calm and stuff like that. I wasn't trying to, you know, and some people be like, wow, you're this, you're that, and I'm sitting here, I'm like, okay. And I was just like, oh my goodness. And as soon as I got comfortable, it was everybody. I don't care. It was for everybody. Everybody could get it. It was pissing me off at this point. Let me sit up. So let's talk about Degree. Degree was like, you know when guys look at you like that whole, like they look at you like they coochie man, you know, the whole, you know when they look at you like that and stuff. And I was looking at him like, sir, you're not to be looking at me like that. I'm sorry. Like I wasn't feeling it. Okay, so like, and you also like know when guys are talking about like, oh my gosh, I need a girlfriend and stuff like that. Obviously, like they meant you, right? But I was the type of person that if you didn't say it to my face, I don't care how obvious it is. Like you could put it in writing to me, but if you won't say it like with your chest to me, I'm gonna keep dodging it. So all the time he would come up to me like, I'm looking for a girlfriend, I'm looking at this. I'm like, oh, have you tried Tinder? You know, Tinder. Yeah, I need a girlfriend. And I'd be like, oh wow.
Look at you white as an L. Ew.
Oh wow. Oh, and also like he would always be talking about like my boyfriend this. I hate when guys always be talking about your boyfriend. Like what boyfriend? The imaginary one? This one? Like what boyfriend are you talking about? Like quit coming off with that boyfriend stuff. Oh, like your boyfriend and this. Oh my goodness. This is the part where like it was just all that was just crusty and ghetto. I could not. It was just crusty and ghetto. So so one time they put me on the food line. Of course he was food line trying one, you know, to make the sandwiches and stuff. And he just put the mustard on all over the paper. So, and I was obviously I didn't like the job, but I care a little bit about each job that I'm at. Obviously, if I don't like it, I care a little bit. So I'm like, no, so switch the paper out. The paper looks a mess. You know, there's mustard all over it. And you will never guess what this guy said to me. You'll never guess what he said to me. He looked at me and like, he said, and wow, as you were doing the sandwiches and stuff, he goes to me, like he said something about, I was talking about some, like you and your boyfriend have sex, or like, I was just like, let me tell you, my soul jumped out in that moment. If I could have fallen over, I would have fell over. I was like, what? I said, what? And you know, when you say what, when you say what, you give them an excuse, you know, to like fix what they said or just to this. No, he said it again. I said, what are you talking about? When he said that, I was just like, excuse me? I said, don't talk to me like that again. What boyfriend? What was his name again? Degree. So one time, like, Degree would go on these rants too, because he was a bitter ass man, bitter as hell. He would go on these rants in the kitchen, right? One time, I don't even know why, but we were just, you know, it was a little slow and stuff. So people would, you know, they be geeky and stuff. And he would just talk about how like, oh, how much you want like a kid, if I had a son, this, if I had a son. And I'm just sitting here like, oh my gosh. Why are you talking about this in the middle of the kitchen? So and then I was like, oh, what happened? And he was like, oh, my girlfriend cheated on me. I'm not saying he deserved it, but I don't feel bad. At first I felt bad. I was like, oh, okay, and stuff like that. So like, I see why he's bitter, but like, you don't gotta be bitter all the time. Like, he was bitter all the time. Every day be bitter. Face looking the same, crusty as always. You're an a-hole, so I don't really feel bad for you. I'm sorry. And keep in mind, Degree would always be like, oh, I'm a good cook and stuff like that. If I cook for you, you never leave me. Or like, you, no. He said, if I cooked for you, he said, if I cooked for you, you'd want to be my girlfriend. I sat there and said, oh, really? So now let's go back to Butterfly and me would just bump heads after this. It would just be uncomfortable. Like, I didn't want to be around him, and I pushed out that vibe heavily. Heavily. Like, I wouldn't, like, I'm just so sorry. Like, if he was too close to me, I would take a step, and he would notice that too, and he would be like, yo, why are you acting like that? And I was just like, acting like what? And he would just be like, like, I just wouldn't let him get that close to me. I'm so sorry. I don't know, but like, I would just be uncomfortable whenever like he'd walk behind me and stuff, because it's hard walking around with this dump truck, you know. I'm sorry, but like, it was just like that too would just make me feel uncomfortable whenever people would pass by me, especially like if they would touch my lower back. It just wasn't it. I call that. And he was weird. He was weird. And you know what's even more weird? Me. Why? Because I like them. Oh, okay. Let's talk about the time that Butterfly locked me in the damn freezer. So I was doing dishes and stuff. No, I wasn't. Oh yeah, I was doing dishes, and I locked him outside because he's an a-hole. So it's what he deserved. But eventually he came back inside. And he was like, hey, I'm doing something like that. Can you go get the fries for me at the thing and stuff? And there was another person between us, and I was like, hey, why don't you just ask so-and-so to do it? He was like, no, and stuff. And he made so-and-so say that he was busy, so he didn't have to go get it. So my dumb ass went back to the freezer because I felt bad for locking him outside. I should not have done that. So I was in the freezer, right? Tell me why I walk into the freezer. The door closes and the lights turn off. And he would constantly call me green. I did the littlest thing. You're green. I did this. You're green. You're green. You're green. I wasn't too into the job either. So when they would say, oh, you're kind of slow at this and stuff like that, I'd be like, okay. Like, I didn't care because I didn't care about the job. Like, I wasn't trying to be like the best at it, ho. I was just trying to get paid. I mentioned there was this other guy. He was kind of creepy. He was kind of like fresh off the boat. And he was annoying. Nigga would not quit like, he would just always be saying my name. Like, every time I went to that job, like, it was always Samir. Like, dog, what you want? And it would be him coming up to me asking me to do stuff for him when I was clearly doing other stuff. Like, why couldn't you do it, sir? Why couldn't you do it? Like, I could be in the middle of something and he would be like, can you do this? And I'd be like, what are you doing? Why can't you do it? Oh, I forgot. Let's go back to Degree. I forgot to talk about Degree. So one time I was just chilling, right? I was just chilling in like the office, and I was just there. and literally no one at all. And then Degree goes ahead and pushes his racist preferences onto me. And I have the video, so I'm gonna insert it right here.
Okay. You just like, I need you to be cute. I like those skin girls. You ain't come me?
Yeah, so I could laugh at you later. Yeah. So he was like, yeah, I like light skin girls, but I'd go for you. But I like these kind of girls too. But and I was just like, and so obviously I was recording it, and he was like, why are you recording me? Because this wasn't the first time that I recorded him acting up like, oh, this wasn't the first time that I recorded him. But he was like, why are you recording me? And I was like, so I can laugh at you later, because that's what I'm going to do. And that's what I did. I laughed at him later. Like, dude, I didn't ask you for none of that. Like, it was like every day I was walking in and I was just so anxious, you know? And that just wasn't, and that's not healthy. Like, every day I would walk in and I was like so anxious. And like, you know, when you can check your schedule and you can see who else is working with you and stuff. So I would like always check it to make sure to see if he was working there. And if he wasn't, if Butterfly wasn't working that day, it would feel like great, you know? Or like if someone else wasn't working that day and stuff. It was just a relief. Like, it was just every day I was going to work, and it was just, I would always feel anxious, and it just wasn't it. I didn't like that feeling at all. And so the day finally came. I got an interview. My friend got me an interview at the restaurant that she worked at. So I was like, okay, let me go work. Let me go see how this goes and stuff. And then the person wasn't there to do my interview. So I was like, and I was really not depressed, but I was like really sad. I was like, damn, I'm never gonna leave this hellhole and stuff. And whenever I complained about my job, my dad would be like, I told you not to go work there. That job's not for you. And then the day came, I had an interview, but I also had to go to work. I called my job in the morning. I called them way in advance in the morning, told them, hey, I'm gonna be coming in late. I have an appointment and stuff like that. So I'm going to the interview. I'm driving on my way to interview. I get a call from one of the managers, like, hey, Smia, where are you? Stuff like that. I was like, I'm going to a doctor's appointment. I told so-and-so to tell you to tell the managers that I was gonna, you know, not be in. And she was like, oh, she didn't tell me. Okay, I'm literally running out of storage, so I gotta say this really fast. So she called me, and I was like, well, too bad, because I already told them that I was gonna be there, so I'm gonna be a little bit late. I'm just gonna have to leave it here and put it for a part 2. So I finally get to the job, right? You have no idea what Butterfly tells me. Part 2. If you made it this far, thank you guys so much for watching my video. Wait for part 2, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Samir out.